money. It holds such silent power over us. We think about it 24/7. We crave it, we chase it, and as soon as we get our hands on some, it finds its way out the door. And this is understandable. It's hard to save money, especially when you have necessities to pay for. Necessities like a roof over your head, food on the dinner table, a doctor to visit, and an automobile to drive. But hang on, pump the brakes. A car shouldn't be a necessary cost, not even in Houston, and I want to explain to you why that is so. So according to the AAA, Houstonians are going to pay $7,000 to $10,000 per year per vehicle on various car payments like gas, maintenance, insurance, whatever. Think about that for a second. Let it sink in. To fulfill your most basic need in this town, the need to get around, it's going to cost you $7,000 to $10,000. I mean, that's a complete and utter highway robbery. For context, the average Houstonian's median income is $61,000 per year, which means your friends, family, and neighbors pay 10 to 15% of their income as a car tribute. And for the 14% of people who live under the federal poverty line in Houston, the car tribute is what puts people on the streets. And the worst part of all this is that we have self-imposed this cost upon ourselves by building a city in which you can only use a car to get around. Actually, no. The worst part of car infrastructure is the fact that it's not financially self-sustaining or particularly affordable for the government. The 59 and 610 interchange, for example, clocks in at $300 million. The expansion of 45 inside the loop would cost $7 to $10 billion. And when you look at publicly available Federal Highway Administration budgets, you'll see that each year the revenues it receives from the gas tax do not even cover the administration's costs. 30 to 50% of the budget has to be covered by the general tax pot, meaning people who don't even drive still pay for highways. And of course this makes sense. Highways are concrete rivers. They take tons of planning and engineering work, and they're constantly being beat up by 2-ton vehicles. The point I'm trying to make here is that car infrastructure is heavy. It costs us a fortune. And it's not just expensive for the government, but it's also expensive for you. So why am I sucking up cash on the MKT? Because it's symbolic of all the money that we could save if we got around with lighter means of transportation. The bike that I ride costs me $300 and another $250 per year in maintenance. Compared to owning a vehicle, this is wonderfully affordable, and for those at the bottom of the economic ladder, the ability to safely and reliably get around by bike would be a lifesend. Even for those households that want to drop from 2 cars down to 1 car and use a bike or e-bike instead, this is still a significant cost savings. Unfortunately, this pool of savings that everybody has goes completely untapped because we dedicate too much road space to cars. This leaves our streets dangerous and leaves us with the feeling that cars are the only way to get around. My friends, this is simply not true. This trail that I'm on, the MKT, is a former rail line converted into a trail. It goes all the way from downtown to the Heights, and it's not uncommon to see commuters going about their day via the trail. And compared to car infrastructure, it is wonderfully affordable to build at only $1.1 million per mile. In a similar vein, safe cycling streets like Austin Street or Polk Street are only $210,000 per mile. Now compare this to the I-10 expansion, which was $112 million per mile. So what am I getting at by throwing all these numbers your way? What I'm saying is that it's not too late, too hard, and definitely not too expensive to introduce cycling as a legitimate alternative way to get around. If we did, the city would be financially leaner, and we'd see savings on the part of the government all the way down to the individual. This, I believe, is key to making prosperity abundant and equally distributed.